Well, our thing is how we work and how we operate. It must make business sense on our side.
Let me get to you, because I understand that you have retired. You're 50-0. You walked away from the game. You made a lot of money, but you did make news sometime last year when people were talking about you returning. Now, you're 43 years old, okay? I want to know where your head is at as it pertains to you.
Whatever reason it is that they want to see you, that reason is why you. It's not that you just deserve the money, because it's hard to do.
I have never encountered an athlete who, number one, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number two, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much.
Once celebrated as the greatest of all time, Floyd Mayweather now finds himself confronting significant difficulties. The boxing legend is at the center of a major controversy, facing accusations of fraudulent activity and reports suggesting he could be approaching a serious financial crisis.
I did it the hard way. You know, I'm a kid that came from poverty. I can remember being a kid living in Jersey with my mother. 7 of us living in a 1-bedroom. You know, no lights, no heat. Never cried, never complained. I just worked hard to get to where I got to in life. It's been hard.
As Floyd evolved from Pretty Boy Floyd into Money Mayweather, his public persona underwent a major transformation. He wasn't just recognized for his defensive skills and mastery in the ring anymore. He became a living emblem of wealth and financial success. His attention shifted from purely chasing boxing glory to showcasing his fortune, with money becoming the central focus of his image.
You want to look at guys that never got hit. Floyd went his entire career, got hit hard like 3 or 4 times, ever.
Yeah. When he fought Diego Chico Corrales, which was one of my favorite all-time fights, you know, because it was like, there was nothing for Diego to hit, and then all of a sudden he just bounced in his face, bop, left hook from like 5 feet away. That's a Mayweather that I think nobody could possibly maybe beat.
That was the Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
Pretty Boy
that
Floyd.
was before he became Money Mayweather.
Mayweather transformed himself into a brand, putting his wealth and luxury on full display. The spotlight moved away from his legendary defensive prowess in the ring toward his extravagant lifestyle, racking up millions from each fight and securing his place among the highest-earning athletes on the planet.
It's just complete genius.
Yes.
First of all, from just changing his style, right? He broke his hands a lot. So when he was younger, they called him Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
And then he changed his name to Money. And when he changed his name to Money, he turns heel.
Yeah.
He became like this guy and everybody wanted to see him get beat.
Yeah.
And he's the most unhittable guy in the history of the sport.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's interesting when fighters figure out ways to do that too, like what Floyd is doing. What Floyd is doing is so interesting. He retires from fighting and he says, I'll just start boxing people who have no chance.
Floyd Mayweather started out earning around $3 million for each fight. However, everything changed when he chose to operate independently, a decision that catapulted his earnings to unprecedented levels. Going solo allowed him to earn billions, establishing him as the highest-paid athlete on the planet. By breaking away from traditional promoters and carefully controlling his career, Mayweather built a legacy that remains unmatched in financial success.
Floyd Mayweather was the highest paid athlete in the world, and you won't believe why. Early in his career, Floyd partnered with a fight promoter where he was making $3 million a fight, but he wasn't satisfied. He thought he could make way more with pay-per-view and wanted out of his contract. So he bet on himself and paid his manager $750,000 to get out. And you won't believe what happened next, so drop a follow. This would prove to be a huge win for Floyd, and after going independent, he made nearly $1 billion and became the highest paid athlete in the world.
But along with his enormous wealth came personal challenges. Mayweather's father shared that before Floyd achieved his fortune, they had never experienced major conflicts. Once the money started rolling in, however, their relationship began to strain as Floyd embraced extravagant spending. Expensive cars, real estate, and other luxury purchases became a central focus, and this change in priorities created tension between father and son. His father noted that people often change once money enters the picture.
We have never had an argument in our life, me and him. Then we had an argument on what was the name of it? HBO. We was on HBO. Then another time we argued over by the car. I'm saying, man, what is all this about now? I'm just saying, you know, and we never had no argument. All of a sudden, it is or it ain't. Sometimes, you know, hey, when people get, it ain't about me training or anything like that. People get money, man, things change. I don't care whether it's your father, mother, whoever. Father, mother, brother, sister, name it. You know, if sometimes when people get money.
As Floyd's fortune expanded, so did his sense of self-importance. This shift in personality led to the breakdown of several close relationships, even with lifelong friends. Mike Tyson didn't hold back in criticizing Mayweather's arrogance, stating that there was nothing admirable about it. Tyson emphasized that Floyd needed to stay grounded and manage his ego, especially given the scale of his wealth.
How do you feel about Floyd, though?
Huh?
How do you feel about Floyd?
Awesome fighter, great fighter. You know, he's a little too into himself. You know, he should be. I was the same way too, but you have to come to reality some way. You have to bring your head down to God. We're nothing to be fucking arrogant. You expect us to be ignorant and arrogant. Look where we came from.
That's why I asked the question earlier about you mentoring fighters, because I feel like Floyd looked at you growing up like every other fighter. And the persona and the lifestyle was like, growing up in the hood, we looked at it like, that's Mike Tyson. We see the cars, the jewelry, the flair. Like you was a movie star. You was a hero.
One of Floyd's most high-profile friendships was with rapper 50 Cent, a relationship widely discussed in the entertainment world. However, as Floyd's wealth grew, tension began to emerge between them. According to 50 Cent, Floyd's preoccupation with money became overwhelming. He reportedly told 50 Cent that he had never asked for his help, despite the strong bond they had built over the years. This strain was largely attributed to Floyd's focus on wealth, often at the expense of his legacy and the people who had supported him from the start.
Sitting there going, yo, when you gonna give me the money?
Because you had already invested.
Right, like when you gonna give me your half of the money back. But I ain't trying to press him because he just got out of jail, right? So it's like, let him cool his heels before you.
Was that in the millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you sitting there big, and I'm like, yo, so when, but see, the fighters are an asset in themselves. They are that talent, regardless. Right. You know, so I'm looking at him going, so there ain't no pressure there, but I'm saying, when is he gonna say he wants to, you know, to give me the other half of it? Why I gotta ask you for it?
Right.
And then when he,
are we talking over $2 million?
It's about that.
Oh, okay.
At that point, it was, you know, invested in.
All right.
So look, he goes, when he finally does bring up the actual the situation, he acted like he didn't know anything. Like, I didn't tell y'all to do that. I didn't tell you to do that.
Oh man.
He said something to me one time, very simple. He said, "What a prize fighter fight for?" And I'm like, and he said, "The prize." So it's okay for you to watch the fight. Don't nobody watch Floyd fight to see how amazing he is. They watch it for the opportunity to see him lose.
Right.
Because they don't like him. They don't like him because everything that he says is about money. There's nothing else. There's no values. There's no, like the people's champ, like Ali was standing for the same things.
Right.
The audience was standing for. You know, he doesn't have any of that. It's just money. You know what I'm saying? And that, he knows you don't like him.
Floyd also lost one of his most promising proteges, boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who felt taken advantage of by Mayweather. Tank explained that Floyd often put him in situations where he had to depend heavily on him, despite the significant earnings Davis made from his fights.
Well, I'm gonna be back asking you for money. Nah, why would I do that? I give her a couple dollars. I take some, whatever, whenever you need some money. You feel me? But when I was legit to be able to get out the hood, that's what I did.
Like, I had to learn that coming up, that like, a motherfucker will put you in a position to always need him. And like, to the world, it might look like that's a great person. But like, to somebody that understand, you understand like what Kendrick Lamar say? Nah, that's a master manipulator. Like, cause
if I gotta put you in a position that you always need me, you always gotta, I'm gonna just give you crumbs. And we hear it a lot. Like if I'm a, nigga, what's $1,000? You know what I'm trying to say? But to you who don't have it, is a lot. And I know you gonna go to war for that $1,000. So me understanding that $48 of plot power, I'ma always feed you a little bit so you can be excited and do just enough to come back around.
But I ain't really, just put me in position to be able to, you know, make my own thing. And I don't want to say no name, but they wind up catching it. The people that's over top of me, I mean, like, I was signed to him, and Floyd signed to him. So the person that, he said, okay, cool, I see what's going on. That's when he started taking over my career.
Tank also spoke about Floyd's difficulty in accepting anyone who might outshine him, saying he grew envious of fighters who earned more or were viewed as greater than him. At one point, Floyd even claimed that Muhammad Ali wasn't superior to him.
Out of all these guys in the history of boxing,
yes,
I've accomplished more than every fighter in the history of boxing.
Okay, Ali.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali when he only had 7 fights.
Yes.
And if we really tell the truth, if we really tell the truth,
well, that's what you're here for. You're here to tell the truth.
What's the heavyweight guy that Ali fought 3 times? Ken Norton, actually.
Ken Norton.
Ken Norton really beat Ali all 3 times. Go back and look at the fights. I mean, we just telling the truth. And I love Ali, of course.
Mayweather's arrogance extended far beyond his personal relationships. He openly showcased his wealth, which only heightened public criticism. His constant display of a lavish lifestyle, combined with provocative statements, contributed to his reputation as one of the most polarizing figures in boxing history. His insistence that he was the greatest,
In all of my career, I have never encountered an athlete who, number 1, flaunts his wealth the way Floyd flaunts his wealth, and who, number 2, is so blindly full of himself to the fault of those who did pave the way. He did acknowledge that much, so I appreciate that much. But the way he just blithely scoffed at Ali's accomplishments, it wasn't just disrespectful, Stephen A. Smith. It was flat out blasphemous. Now, to your credit, you did go back at him. You can't, okay, and to Floyd's credit, you know what? Early in Ali's career, he did get dropped. Not by Burt Cooper, by Henry Cooper in London. He fought him twice in London. And he did get dropped, and he got right back up and won the fight.
Because of his bold attitude and constant flaunting of wealth, Floyd became one of the most disliked figures in boxing history. His unwillingness to address the criticism, despite his provocative behavior, only intensified the public's negative perception. He frequently stated that he didn't care about what people thought and would keep fighting, whether in exhibition matches or traditional bouts.
He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed. Like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And
my most expensive watch that I currently own is $18 million. One watch.
And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes. Yeah, he creates envy and you want him to lose, but he's not gonna.
Following his retirement from professional boxing, Floyd shifted his focus to exhibition matches. These events drew significant criticism, with many arguing that he was risking his legacy by facing lesser-known opponents primarily for financial gain.
Floyd, what does it mean for you to go out on your terms, not on anybody else's terms, but you to make the decision, you know what, this is it, I don't care what all you guys say, I'm out of here, I'm done?
I mean, I think I just had a game plan. I had a brilliant game plan. The game plan was to be very outspoken. You know, I was born with personality. I was born with charisma. Speak my mind. Speak from the heart. You know, I don't hate or dislike anyone. But I want to go out there, you know, and just do what I have to do inside that square circle. Choose a tremendous team on the outside that's going to help me take things to the next level, and that's what I did.
Floyd's exhibition bouts quickly gained a reputation as cash-driven events. Critics argued that these fights focused more on maximizing his share of the earnings than on delivering competitive or meaningful matches for the fans.
You know, it is. I think obviously with Floyd, he gets the biggest percentage of the purse, isn't it? Yeah, but he can still get the biggest percentage of the purse. Yeah, but Ricky Hatton's gonna want more. He'll want more. He'll want more. He'll want more. Yeah. But I'm sure when they fought in their heyday, Floyd got more. Yeah, of course. So, you know what I'm saying?
No, but Floyd wants like 95% more. 90% more. You know what I'm saying? It's not like...
He's like 95-5. Yeah, that's how he likes to do it, isn't it? Because I'm not going to lie, if Floyd fought Ricky, both of them now, catch weight, 154, O2 Arena, it will sell out.
It will sell out. Sell out.
Floyd's reputation with exhibition matches took another hit due to claims that he didn't pay his opponents the amounts they were promised. Fighters such as Deji and Logan Paul alleged that they never received the full payment agreed upon for their bouts with Mayweather.
A lot of people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't
boxing
thing? You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy
right
going,
now,
I want to make $30 million, I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights. And you make them, and Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters. They don't have to wait for. That was the big problem in the past, is that these boxing promoters would come in and they wouldn't make as much money as they thought they were going to do, so they would stiff the fighters and not pay the guys. And that's why these regulations are in place in these different states.
Floyd's prominence in boxing and the excitement around his career gradually started to diminish. Once a dominant force in the sport, his offering actions began to take attention away from his achievements in the ring. Allegations involving a $42 million scam.
There's some drama going on about Floyd Mayweather being stuck in Dubai. However, that man was at Game 5 of the Clippers game. He's claiming that he is stuck in Dubai because there's debts that he has to pay off and they're not letting him leave. And we're sitting at Game 5 and I look over and I'm like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather. Royce takes a video of Floyd Mayweather at the Clippers game, posts it on his TikTok. It goes viral. He posts 2 videos, both go viral. And the comments, nobody is believing him. They're like, that's not really Floyd. That's a clone. Floyd's stuck in Dubai. And the crazy thing was, usually when you're at these games, they'll have like, oh, special guest, celebrity of the night. They didn't show Floyd on the thing. But we have it on camera. But go check out Royce's videos if you...
Mayweather dedicated significant effort to building his image as the top-earning athlete globally. He frequently highlighted his income, insisting that no other athlete in history could rival his financial achievements.
What did you see when you watched that fight?
Look, Floyd needs to keep doing what he's doing, which is fighting complete tomato cans who we've never heard of before. I've never seen anybody in the history of America get so rich and so famous out of having complete wimps throwing punch at their faces. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, it's happened before. What about Rihanna? Shame on you. I will not stand for that. I will not stand for that. But, however, boxing has a misconception. Too soon? Was it too soon?
Prominent fighter Chael Sonnen stated that Floyd's choice to keep taking exhibition matches was motivated entirely by financial gain. Sonnen argued that, with billions already earned, Mayweather had no real need to fight solely for money.
Floyd is still getting in there as recently as this weekend because he needed the money.
You think Floyd's fighting because he needs the money?
Yeah.
Really? Why? Do you think he blew through all of his money?
Get the fuck. Well, he blew through a lot of it, but I'm sharing for you, it wasn't what you thought it was.
He blew through it and wasn't making as much as
they're claiming he was doing $100 million a fight, and I'm claiming for you, he in his whole career has made about $100 million. There's a very
wow. Floyd had this long career. I could imagine him making more than $100 million.
I understand that. Floyd was not Muhammad Ali, and Floyd wasn't Mike Tyson. I got it. I know people think he made 130 in a night. I'm sharing with you, he didn't, and no boxer has. No boxer's ever made 130 million in one night. This is silly. Floyd Mayweather has closed down a mall. He has rented out the entire mall and he spent $15 million. The proof that this happened is Floyd in a mall and Floyd with a bag of cash that probably had about 100 grand in it. He says, man, I'm a VIP, I'm a VP, I'm a VVVVIP. Do you want to know why he was whispering, guys? He was whispering so that he didn't disrupt the employees and fellow shoppers at the mall. It's okay. This is a gimmick.
Floyd did everything that Floyd is supposed to do. It's strange that a 50-year-old man would continue to do what he did when he was 28 years old. That's strange.
Renowned boxing promoter Eddie Hearn criticized Floyd's approach to the sport, describing his fights as largely pay-per-view spectacles and suggesting that Mayweather prioritized revenue over the fans' experience.
Somewhere between 2,000 and 4,000, something like that, if that.
I believe so.
We've had some bad ones, but I've seen a map. Someone posted a map yesterday. I mean, I don't know anyone that even knows Floyd Mayweather is fighting on Saturday. Who is putting the money up for these events? Like, I think that the Mayweather fights are so naff, to be honest with you. But I don't actually mind. Like, at least Aaron Chalmers will go out and he can box and he'll have a go and like whatever. But literally no one knows that is even happening. Someone has hired out the O2 Arena thinking they're going to sell out the O2 Arena with Floyd Mayweather and they are going to do a couple of 100,000 buys on pay-per-view. It's either going to get cancelled before Saturday or someone is going to do their absolute conkers or people are not.
Following years of lavish spending and building a collection of luxury assets, Floyd Mayweather's fortune has reportedly diminished, leaving him in a precarious financial position. With his professional career behind him, his attempts to maintain relevance through exhibition matches have been met with intense criticism.
There is a little bit of embellishing that you kind of have to do in order to get your foot in the door with some of these folks, because they otherwise ain't gonna deal with you. So it does require a little bit of fake it till you make it. I'm not saying that that report is true. I'm just simply saying that if there were some validity to that, that's not really the end of the world. He ain't lying about having ownership. He just may have embellished the truth about having no partners. Also, you got people calling him broke, which is crazy to me, man.
That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates, and we'll see you next time.